Summary of the poem Walking Away, by Cecil Day Lewis. The poem Walking Away is written by Cecil Day Lewis, a father reflecting on a memory from 18 years ago. He remembers the exact moment he first felt his son beginning to grow up and move away from him, not physically forever, but emotionally and mentally, as the son started becoming more independent. The event he remembers is his son's first football game, when the boy was probably around school starting age. For the father, this was not just a game, but a symbol of something much deeper, his child stepping into the world on his own for the first time. In the first stanza, the poet uses strong and clear imagery to set the scene. It was a sunny autumn day, with the leaves just beginning to change color. The field had freshly drawn lines for the football game. This peaceful, ordinary moment becomes very emotional for the father. He remembers watching his son run off to play, and it felt like watching a satellite, like the moon or an artificial satellite, being wrenched or pulled away from its orbit. This comparison shows how sudden and painful the moment felt. The father felt like he was the center of the orbit, and now his son was no longer circling him. The son was moving away, beginning his own journey in life. As the boy walks off with the other children, the father observes his son's movements. He sees something unsure in the boy's walk, the gait of one who finds no path where the path should be. This means the boy looked a bit lost, not fully confident, like he was trying to figure out where he was going. The poet compares him to a half-fledged thing, a young bird that hasn't fully grown its feathers. This bird is now pushed out of the nest, struggling to fly on its own. The idea of the child being set free into a wilderness shows how scary and confusing growing up can be, not only for the child but also for the parent watching. In the third stanza, the father compares his son to a winged seed, like a seed with little wings that gets blown away from its parent plant by the wind. This is a beautiful image of natural separation. Seeds must leave the parent plant to grow elsewhere, just as children must leave their parents to grow into independent adults. The poet says he has never been able to fully describe this feeling, but it teaches him something important about life, that letting go is a painful but necessary part of nature. In the fourth stanza, the poet says he has experienced more painful partings in his life, but none that stay with him like this one. This tells us that although his son wasn't leaving forever, the memory of that first walking away still affects him. It marks the beginning of a long journey of growing apart, not in love, but independence. This is the poet's deeper realization. That parenthood is full of small ordeals, tough emotional experiences, that help both the child and the parent grow stronger. Finally, in the last stanza, the poet offers the message of the poem: selfhood begins with a walking away, and love is proved in the letting go. This means that a child starts to form their own identity when they begin to separate from their parents. And true love, especially a parent's love, is shown not by holding on too tightly, but by letting go with trust and understanding. It is through letting a child go out into the world that a parent shows real love, even if it hurts. Structure, rhythm, and meter. The poem is written in 5 stanzas, each with 4 lines. This regular structure creates a calm, reflective tone, like a quiet and thoughtful memory. The rhyme scheme follows an abacad pattern in each stanza, which gives the poem a smooth, flowing rhythm that feels natural and steady, just like the process of remembering something deeply emotional. The meter is mostly iambic pentameter, meaning each line has about 10 syllables, with a pattern of unstressed and stressed beats, like d-d-u-m 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 d-d-u-m. This kind of meter is often used in English poetry because it sounds close to normal human speech, but slightly more musical and controlled. This suits the tone of the poem, calm, thoughtful, but emotionally rich. Themes. The main theme of Walking Away is parental love and letting go. It explores the emotional challenges of seeing a child grow up and become more independent. Other important themes include growth, change, memory, and the pain of separation. The poem also reflects on the passage of time, the way a moment from 18 years ago can still feel fresh and meaningful in a parent's heart. Another important idea in the poem is that growing up involves risk and uncertainty, both for the child and the parent. But it's also a necessary and natural part of life. Just like birds have to leave the nest, and seeds must scatter to grow into new plants, children must move away from their parents to become who they are meant to be.
Line-by-line explanation of the poem Walking Away, by Cecil Day Lewis.
Line 1. It is 18 years ago, almost to the day. The speaker recalls a moment from exactly 18 years ago. The fact that he remembers the day so clearly shows how important and emotionally significant it is to him. This is likely the moment his child first took a step toward independence. Line 2. A sunny day with leaves just turning. The day is described as sunny, but the leaves are beginning to change color, a sign of early autumn. This reflects both warmth and the beginning of change, symbolizing the child growing up and the shift in their relationship. Line 3. The touchlines new ruled, since I watched you play. Touchlines are the boundary lines of a football field, freshly marked for the game. This sets the scene for the memory. The speaker was watching his child play their first football game, a milestone in growing up. Line 4. Your first game of football, then, like a satellite. The child is compared to a satellite, something that once moved closely around a central object, the parent, but is now drifting off on its own. This simile introduces the theme of emotional separation. Line 5. Wrenched from its orbit, go drifting away. The word wrenched implies a sudden or painful separation. The child is no longer within the protective orbit of the parent and is now moving independently, both physically and emotionally. Line 6. Behind a scatter of boys. I can see. The child blends into a group of other children. This suggests that the parent's individual attention and protection are no longer central. The child is entering a wider world, forming new bonds and identities. Line 7. You walking away from me towards the school. This line captures the literal and symbolic moment of separation. The child walks towards school, a place of learning, independence, and socialization, while leaving the parent behind. Line 8. With the pathos of a half-fledged thing set free. The child is compared to a bird that isn't quite ready to fly on its own. The word pathos means a feeling of sadness or tenderness, highlighting the emotional difficulty of letting go. Line 9. Into a wilderness, the gate of one. The wilderness represents the unknown, wider world. The child's gait, walk, is unsteady, suggesting uncertainty and vulnerability as they begin to explore life on their own. Line 10. Who finds no path where the path should be. This line shows that the child is unsure of the way forward. There's no clear or easy path in life, and the child is beginning to face that reality. Line 11. That hesitant figure, eddying away. The child is described as hesitant, unsure in their movement. Eddying suggests a swirling or drifting motion, emphasizing how slowly and uncertainly the child is moving away from the parent. Line 12. Like a winged seed loosened from its parent stem. Another nature metaphor, the child is like a seed being released from the plant it came from. It shows that while separation is natural and necessary, it is still a moment of detachment. Line 13 has something I never quite grasped to convey. The speaker admits he can't fully express the meaning or emotion of that moment. The experience is too deep, too subtle, to capture perfectly in words. Line 14, about nature's give and take, the small, the scorching. The speaker reflects that life is full of emotional exchanges. Even small events, like a child walking away, can be scorching, intensely emotional and painful, as part of nature's balance. Line 15, ordeals which fire one's irresolute clay. Difficult experiences, like this emotional parting, help shape a person's character. Irresolute clay refers to our uncertain, soft selves before life's challenges harden and define us. Line 16, I have had worse partings, but none that so. The speaker admits he has experienced harder farewells, possibly involving more grief or loss. Yet this one, watching his child grow away, still feels uniquely painful. Line 17, gnaws at my mind still. Perhaps it is roughly. This memory continues to trouble him, even years later. He begins to consider that it may reflect a deeper truth, a truth that's hard to explain but important. Line 18, saying what God alone could perfectly show. The emotional lesson behind this experience is so profound that only God could express it fully. The speaker humbly admits he can only offer a rough understanding. Line 19, how selfhood begins with a walking away. Here, the main message becomes clear. A person's journey to becoming themselves, selfhood, starts when they separate from those who love and protect them. Line 20, and love is proved in the letting go. The final line delivers the powerful truth. Real love, especially parental love, is not about holding on, but about trusting and allowing someone to grow and live independently. Letting go, though painful, is the most loving thing one can do.
About the poet. Cecil Day Lewis was born on April 27, 1904, in Ballintubbard, County Laois, Ireland. He was a British poet, novelist, critic, and academic who became one of the major literary figures of the 20th century. He was educated at Oxford University, where he became associated with fellow poets like W. H. Auden. During the 1930s, Day Lewis's poetry was known for its political themes and social concern, reflecting the anxieties of the time. However, his later works took on a more personal and reflective tone. In addition to poetry, he also wrote detective fiction under the pseudonym Nicholas Blake. In 1968, he was appointed Poet Laureate of the United Kingdom, a title he held until his death. He is also known as the father of actor Daniel Day-Lewis. Cecil Day Lewis died on May 22, 1972, but his poetry, particularly on themes like love, loss, and change, continues to resonate with readers today.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.